Hey guys, welcome to the current events section of PS Invest. There were some major headlines in the news this week that affected the market. But first, Patrick, give us your 2 cents.
Yeah, just as a quick disclaimer, anything we discuss in the episode is just our opinion and should not be taken as financial advice. If you have any questions about investing, you should always consult a financial advisor. Just jumping straight into it, Steve. Tesla. Wow, what a week! It was a blast to follow this stock. Um,
hmm
any any input or insight on what exactly was going on here?
I'm kind of speechless about Tesla, and honestly, I think most analysts out there as well. If you haven't been paying attention to Tesla, look it up right now, or just look at the chart right to the left of me. Um, it has grown like almost 100% this year alone. It's insane. We're only what 6, 7 weeks into the new year and
Mm-hmm.
already incredible. So this movement is just baffling investors and analysts right now because they did report strong earnings last week, which has helped the stock move. But we've never seen a stock. I don't think many people have seen a stock accelerate as much as it has, or at least a stock the caliber of Tesla. Usually we see these types of spikes in penny stocks. Um, so what are some other things that could be causing this? For one, Tesla was very much shorted last year. So I think a lot of this is shorts just getting squeezed, and what I mean by squeezed is that short sellers are being forced to close out of their positions due to the stock moving sharply higher. So the stock moved higher based off of earnings. Some shorts had to sell their positions, and as those shorts sold their positions, the stock went even higher, causing more shorts to sell their positions. And this kind of added up, added up, added up, and you saw this exponential rocket ship growth of the price of Tesla. Another thing that could be affecting this is just pure FOMO, which FOMO is fear of missing out. I think some people saw, oh my gosh, Tesla's moving up. I gotta get in, I gotta get in. They didn't want to miss it, so I think that added a little bit to it as well. And another thing that was kind of on the down low, you kind of had to dig a little deeper into some other earnings, is that Tesla's battery sales have actually helped them out a lot. Um, Panasonic actually came out in their earnings this past week or recently in their earnings. They said that the Tesla batteries have actually helped turn them profitable. So that was a huge boost to Tesla as well. They did fall back on. So in case you didn't know, they jumped up to about $968 around there. That was around their peak on Tuesday. Like I said, that's up 120% from the beginning of the year. Absolutely insane. On Wednesday, they got brought back down to earth a little bit. They fell 25% off the highs, down to about $734. Still up an insane amount from the beginning of the year. But honestly, I think this pullback was quite reasonable considering how fast this stock has grown. Another reason for that pullback on Wednesday was that due to the coronavirus, some of their cars scheduled for February delivery in China are going to be delayed. Their plant in China is still closed, so that had some effect. That had some negative effect on the stock. But holy cow, man! Like that, I cannot believe this stock has been reacting the way it has. I mean, give me your 2 cents, man. No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everybody made some money on this thing, you know, unless you're on the short side, unless you timed it right after that big peak.
hmm
Um, but I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought this was SpaceX's stock based on how this thing went like straight to the moon. It did crash back down a little bit, but I mean, it seemed to find some solid support around the 750 range. When I looked at it midweek when it was in the 900s, I thought it was definitely going to come back down.
Hmm.
But I was expecting maybe like 650. I thought like the 200-day moving average would be a nice support line, but it seems to have found some support even above that. So I don't know. It looks like a pretty solid sticking ground. Definitely nothing I'm willing to touch right here. But it's something I'm definitely going to watch because this has been enjoyable to observe at least from afar.
Hmm.
Um, but
I know I've been entertained.
oh yeah, for sure. Um, but like you said, the coronavirus is going to impact them some negative, in a negative way. Um, I don't know what's been going on with the coronavirus recently, Steve.
Yeah, so coronavirus is still out there. It's still affecting the market. It's still affecting people. Um, it was kind of an up and it kind of caused an up and down week for the market. We kind of, end of last week, beginning of this week, we had a little bit of a downturn, and then I think people started to brush off some concerns, and we saw the market react positive to that. We hit some all-time highs midday. I think during like Wednesday, Thursday, and then today on Friday, we saw a little bit more of a pullback due to some more growing concerns on coronavirus and how it's not only going to affect business in China, but affect some U.S. businesses that do business in China, or like we were talking about last week, some hotels and some touristy type businesses. It's going to be affecting those types of stocks. Um, as long as people continue to recover, though, recover from the virus, that is, the mortality rate stays relatively low compared to the amount of people infected. I think we're not going to see a major impact on the market. I still think we're going to see an up and down roller coaster over the next month or two, or might even be longer. Um, but I think expect some volatility. Airlines have continued to cancel flights. There's been more than, I believe it's 460,000 flights to and from China. So China's growing a little more isolated by the day. Companies are now lowering their outlooks on quarters due to the outbreak. And big big event during the middle of the summer here, Tokyo Olympics, taking place between July and August. They
Mm-hmm.
have actually set up a task force to try to calm growing fears from the spread of the virus at events. So definitely something to still, be very cautious about in terms of the market and in terms of your own well-being. Again, just be healthy, wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough. Um, just be sanitary. Um, yeah, I mean it doesn't look like coronavirus is going away anytime soon, but it seems like some fears are starting to calm down. Is that the kind of the sense that you're getting, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, this whole week seemed pretty positive in the market until we got to Friday. We
Hmm.
definitely saw a pretty big drawback. I think the Dow was down like 300 points or so.
Hmm.
Yeah, 277 I'm seeing right here. So, I mean, I, I think it's just, people are selling the news. And, I personally think it's a good time to buy. I mean,
Hmm.
no disrespect at all or anything, but I mean, I don't
Of
think the
course.
coronavirus is as bad as the media is putting it out to be. I mean, yes, people have passed away, and my condolences to those people and their families.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're just reading news articles or listening to the headlines, they're making it sound like this huge deadly disease that's just sweeping across the land. Um, and every time some sort of event happens, we're seeing a major pullback. And on Friday we saw a lot about you know different cruise ships being quarantined and not being able to dock and all these kinds of headlines. And those are major issues, and we need to figure those out. Um,
Hmm.
and I foresee things like this to continue to happen until we make some progress. I know some British scientists say they expect to have some sort of vaccine to start testing soon. by the summer, and then possibly be released by next year. So I mean, definitely a long time horizon for getting this thing taken care of. But yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. Um, but let's take a step away from the coronavirus. I kind of want to take a look at something that might have gone unnoticed to some people. And that's CBS kind of re-releasing their streaming service. Right now, they have something called CBS All Access. Kind of just gives you access to their shows and live sports. Right
Hmm.
now, it's $5.99 with ads, $10 ad free. Kind of seems a little expensive just for CBS. Um, but with their partnership with Viacom recently, they're looking to roll out like a new package that has Pluto TV, Nickelodeon, BET, MTV, Comedy Central, and Paramount Pictures. This is kind of interesting because Paramount Pictures offers their movies on a lot of other services like Netflix and Amazon Prime. They lease the rights to those movies, things like Star Trek and whatnot, to be able to be shown on their platform. So it'll be interesting to see if, kind of similar to the Peacock service, how we see like The Office and Parks and Rec being taken away from Netflix. If Paramount Pictures will not allow uh, these other services to have their movies on them.
Hmm.
Um, it will be a paid service. I know there will be an ad supported version, so it'll be interesting to see if they keep the same pricing structure as CBS All Access, or if they'll raise their prices.
Hmm.
But it kind of looks like this is going to be the last major streaming service to kind of enter the game, at least for a while, I hope. Kind of
Hmm.
seems a little saturated. I don't know. What are you thinking, Steve, about uh, the streaming market and CBS All Access, or whatever they're going to name this new service?
Yeah. I mean, like you're saying, how many streaming services are there out there right now?
Mm-hmm.
And they are kind of the last puppy to the of the litter here, to to the bowl, if you want to put it that way. The stock has been beaten down just from like a price standpoint. It has been beaten down from near highs of around $70 back in 2017. So I think this is their way of saying, we need to do something to kind of turn to right the ship here. Um, with them being late to the party, we'll see if that really has any effect. I like watching SpongeBob. I'm sure other people like watching SpongeBob. So if they're offering
Yeah.
Nickelodeon, and all those other types of shows like Star Trek and Comedy Central shows, MTV, like you were saying, if the people want to watch it, it could be a little bit of a turning point for them here. But yeah, I mean, a lot of streaming services right here. I think people are kind of getting sick of the next best thing, next streaming service here and there. I don't know. That's just my take on it. So yeah, well, obviously we'll just have to see what they're able to come up with and how they move forward in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, talk about oversaturation. At least in my opinion, I want to move over to our last headline of the week, or last major topic. And that's going to be the IPO of Casper mattress. Now, in
Hmm.
my opinion, the mattress, especially like the online mattress delivery category, is a little oversaturated. But
Hmm.
we saw Casper mattress. They IPO'd on Thursday. Stocks were up already at open, up to 14.50 a share. They peaked at 15.85, giving them a value, a market cap of over $1 billion. And originally they were priced at $12, and that's that peak of 15.85. That's about as good as it gets, at least for now.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, Friday, even with after hours trading, they're sitting at $11.08. So they're gone below their IPO price. Yet another IPO of a not profitable company. Um, so I mean, I think that's kind of scaring investors away a little bit. I think people, I think that price hike that big jump we saw on the opening day might have kind of been a little Tesla factor there, maybe a little Beyond Meat factor there. Everyone
Hmm.
looking for a nice rocket ship to ride here to make some quick and easy money, but it doesn't seem like it's going that way. Um,
Hmm.
like I said, the whole mattress market, I think that's a little oversaturated. Um, I don't know, Steve. What do you think about Casper here?
So the thing about Casper is that you know, I still think that they're pretty good at what they do. I mean, they've kind of disrupted the way, if you want to put it that way, they've kind of disrupted the way that you bought a mattress. Because usually, what do? You go to the store, you try it out. Does it feel comfortable? You buy it. Now you can buy a mattress online without even testing it out. And they actually did do this pretty successfully. And the thing is that they were so successful that other people or other companies, other startups tried to start um, duplicating what they were doing, and it was relatively easy for them to duplicate. So that is now why the market has been so saturated with these online mattress buying or online mattress purchasing companies. Um, I mean, I will say, yeah, it was a rough week for them. Let's just kind of put this into perspective, though. It's only been 2 days of trading. Okay, they've been public for 2 days. It's a new, unique way of purchasing a mattress, so it's disruptive, and people are notorious for not adapting to change easily. So who knows what the future has for them? I mean, we definitely need to give them some more time. Definitely not the best start, not the start that they were looking for. There are some red flags out with them just because of like we've been saying, how saturated the market is. They're not nearly clearly they're not valued or worth as much as they thought they were. But we need to give them some time. It's been 2 days. We need to let people be able to adapt to this change. Let the disruptive, technology or disruptive way of buying a mattress, kind of let it sink in and see if people can really take grasp of this, really, latch on to it to put it easy or to put it whatever, whatever have you. But that's just my take. I personally would not invest in this right now. Would not invest in Casper, but I don't know. What do you have anything else to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely on the same side as you here. I would not touch Casper right here. I did like your
Hmm.
point of the online delivery and stuff, and if Casper stayed online delivery, I think I would like them a lot more. But they've
Hmm.
made partnerships with stuff like Target. They open up their own stores and malls and stuff like that, and I think that's going to drive down the margins big time. I mean, the main reason for a disruptor like Casper was to forget the mattress store. You don't need that. Just order it online, test it out. If you don't like it, send it back.
Hmm.
And I think they're kind of going back on what the whole premise of their original business was. But I think it'll be interesting to keep your eye on them and see how things go.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think right here it's a little too early to tell, but I don't like them as of right now. As a stock, as a company, I think they're great.
Right.
But as an investment, I just don't see any potential, at least not right now.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but I think that brings us to the end of our market recap for this week here on PS Invest. I'm Patrick. It was nice discussing these here with my co-host Steve. Join us next week as we go over some of the big headlines that happen over the course of the week. Anything else you want to add, Steve?
Uh, no, I mean there's always big headlines every week, and there's no better way to see how it affects the market than tuning in for current events on PS Invest.